Hi. I don't have a catchy thing to say, like, hey, my name is Spacey Babe. You can call me Spacey Babe. You can call me Spacey Babe, I guess, or Spacey. Today's video, so exciting. I haven't seen a lot of this on YouTube. Now, there's a lot of book people on YouTube, people who do a lot of book things and stuff like that. I'm not gonna give you a top 10 list of my favorite sci-fi books because I just moved and I can't find all my favorite sci-fi books. But I'll give you a couple that are pretty dope and that you should check out. Okay, so my first, these are in no particular order, by the way. I'm just spouting out. My first is this book. This book, is it gonna autofocus? Who knows? This book called Crystalline. It's actually from a series. I can't find the first one. The series is the Killa Saunders series by Anne McCaffrey. These books are dope. It's about this girl who's a crystal singer. It's full of adventure and, you know, let me read the back for you. When Killa Saunders joined the mysterious Heptite Guild, she knew that she would be forever changed. Crystal singing brought ecstasy and pain, near eternal life, and gradual loss of memory. Now this is the last book, so that probably was a spoiler. I don't fucking know. These books, there's 3 in the series, are really good. I couldn't find them in Barnes & Noble. I can't find them really anywhere. I bought this in like a thrift store. This one, and then I have the second one, which is called Crystal Singer, and then the first one, which is just called Killshandra. You should check these books out. They're pretty dope. They're not that long, and they're kind of like, you know how my example is the True Blood books, the Sookie Stackhouse series. Those books are like mind. It's nothing intellectual. It's not going to change your life. It's just something like an airport book or a line book or just something to read in between those heavy books you have. So these books are a good, quick read. I mean, I read one and say a day. So just, you know, check it out, the Killshandra series. It's a good one. Now, on to the next. I was just talking about books that might blow your mind, change your life, whatever. I have a couple of those. This book. This is by one of Japan's greatest science fiction writers. His name is Ryu Mitsuse. I think it's Mitsuse. Ryu Mitsuse. Whatever. It's by him, and it's touted as the greatest Japanese science fiction novel of all time. Now this book, this shit right here though. It's called 10 Billion Days and 100 Billion Nights. I've read this twice and I cannot tell you. It's like confusing, but it's not. It's more of like an existential, metaphysical, what have you. It's a mind fuck. It goes from like Atlantis to Jesus and Siddhartha fighting with particle weapons. It's pretty much the dopest book on the planet. It's weird as shit, and you should check this out. I got this at the Kinokuniya bookstore in Little Tokyo. You get it there. You can probably get it on Amazon too. Probably for all these books, I'll put the link down below if you ever want to check them out. This book though is a fucking mind trip. Like, I keep looking in the viewfinder, but this book is a mind fuck. It's like, let me read the little inside part. 10 billion days, that's how long it'll take the philosopher Plato to determine the true systems of the world. 100 billion nights, that's how far into the future Jesus of Nazareth, Siddhartha, and the demigod Asura will travel to witness the end of all worlds. Named the greatest science fiction novel of all time, 10 billion days and 100 billion nights is an epic eons in the making. Originally published in 1967, the novel was revised by the author years later and republished in 1973. See, this book goes from like Atlantis to Plato having like mind trips and shit, like his past lives in Atlantis. And then it goes to Jesus, Siddhartha, and Asura fighting at the end of the world with particle weapons. I swear to you, this book is dope. Just imagine Jesus with a lightsaber or a cannon full of like nuclear shit. It's awesome. And I've read it like twice. I need to read it again because there's a lot to take in. This is not light reading. This is not this book. This book is light reading. This book is, you're going to read it a couple times and be like, what the fuck did I just read? It's okay. I don't know. But it's good. I know that. On to the next. Arthur C. Clarke's Childhood's End. There was a sci-fi TV show recently that adapted this book, and that adaptation is completely different. Not completely, but it's off. It's not the same as this. That adaptation, I heard it was good by my friend, but this right here, it's not a long read. It's only, I want to say 212 pages. I don't want to say, that's what it is. It's 212 pages, and it's an amazing book. This is a mind fuck. This is not light reading. I mean, it is, but it'll change your life. Like, this is one of the first science fiction books I read, and I was like, what the fuck? Because you think it'll go one way and it completely goes in a different direction. It's just puzzling how amazing and like different this book is. I'll read you the bag since that's what we're into right now. The overlords appeared suddenly over every city. Intellectually, technologically, and military superior to humankind. Benevolent, they made few with the evident peace, man ceased to thrive for creative greatness, and a malaise settled over human race. To those who resisted, it became evident that the overlords had an agenda of their own. As civilization approached the crossroads, would the overlords spell the end for mankind or the beginning? You know what? This book right here, this is a must read. I mean, I would read it before I watched the sci-fi show. I didn't get to watch it. I was waiting for my mom. She never like watched it, but I think you should check this out because this book is dope. I'll leave the link below. This is probably in Barnes & Noble. Every time I go, they don't have it though. The sci-fi section in Barnes & Noble, let's talk about it though. The sci-fi section in Barnes & Noble is like getting smaller and it's being pushed out, at least my Barnes & Noble, is being pushed out for more like graphic novels and shit like that, but I have no problems with graphic novels. I'm opening a comic book store, none yet, but like the sci-fi novels are like hard to find, especially the classics like this. Arthur C. Clarke, look him up. He's the reason why we have cell phones and satellites and shit like that. The Clarke belt, like, look this dude up, but read this book. I also have Rendezvous in Ramna, which is one of his classics too. I haven't read that yet, but I'll read that and get back to you. Okay, done with that one. I have 3 here. I don't know which one to talk about first. Since we just talked about a book that had a TV show attached to it, I'm gonna talk about Cloud Atlas. This book was by David Mitchell, was adapted into a film by the Wachowski siblings. Now, the Wachowski siblings also did the Matrix trilogy, Speed Racer, V for Vendetta, all of those. This movie was a hit and miss with most critics. A lot of people didn't like it. It was very long. It was like 2 hours and 40 minutes long, but I personally love the movie, and this is like a first for me because I usually don't watch a movie and then be like, oh, I'm gonna read the book. I usually do it the other way around. I'll read the book and then I'll go see the movie. But I was told that I would love it, so I did. Anyways, so I watched the movie, loved it, had Tom Hanks, Halle Berry, Hugh Grant, bunch of other actors. Great movie, check it out. It's long, check it out. But the book is awesome. It's by David Mitchell, and it's let me just read the back so you can hear. A postmodern visionary who is also a master of styles and genres, David Mitchell combines flat-out adventure, a Nabokovian love of puzzles, a keen eye for character, and a taste for mind-bending physiological and scientific speculation in the tradition of Haruki Murakami, Umberto Eco, and Philip K. Dick. The result is brilliantly original fiction that reveals how desperate people connect, how their fates intertwine, and how their souls drift across time like clouds and across the sky. This book is awesome, and I recommend this to anybody at all. And they mention Haruki Murakaumi, who's an author of Japanese science fiction novels like Kafka on the Shore, The Wind-Up Bird Chronicles, Hard-Boiled Wonderland, books like that. I'd check out that author too. I was gonna show you guys Kafka on the Shore, but I let somebody borrow that and I have not seen it since. So, but check out that book, check out that author. I'll put that down below also in the links. But back to David Mitchell's Cloud Atlas. Check this book out. Check out the movie. I mean, it's really, really good. I read it about, I want to say 2 years ago, so I really need to reread it. But the past lives and the connections through time and all of it, it's just this weird, like they said, mind-bending philosophical scientific speculation. Like, it's crazy. And it's a lot like Murakami's book Kafka on the Shore. That book is honestly one of my favorite science fiction books, and I really think y'all should check it out. I'll probably do a book review on that because I'm going to reread it in a couple of weeks. Right now I'm reading Robert Heinlein's The Cat That Walks Through Walls, and I'm going to make a video review of that book and talk to you guys about that because I love Robert Heinlein. And speaking of Robert Heinlein, I have Stranger in a Strange Land. This is hands down one of my favorite science fiction books. Favorite science fiction books. Like, this shit right here though. This shit right here though. Okay, so this is about Michael Valentine Smith. He is a human who was raised on Mars. How did that happen, you say? Well, it was an expedition to Mars that had all these scientists, and they went and, you know, something bad happened, and then they got stranded on Mars. They all died, but he was the only survivor. Didn't ruin anything for you. That's just the beginning of the book. As you can see, this is long. I have the original uncut version, which I suggest reading this one. I've read the one that has the edits from the publisher. It's not as good as this one. This is the one Heinlein wanted to publish, so I suggest you go out and get this one. I have it on Kindle. I have it on Audible. Just read it. It is so good. It is life-changing. I'm hearing noises. Sorry. This is life-changingly good. Like, change your life. Fuck with this. This is a good book. There's not much I can say about it except that it's amazing. Anything I tell you will ruin it. Anyways, this book right here is a great book. Pick it up. It's at Barnes Noble. Usually not this version, like it's the smaller, thicker one. I have that one, but I lost it. I have a lot of books, so, and I just moved. But this, Stranger in a Strange Land, one of my favorite science fiction books. This book is the reason why I started reading The Cat Who Walks Through Walls, which also I keep bringing that up. I'm like this close to finishing, and I will make a video about that book. Anyways, on to the next. Octavia Butler. Okay, so she is one of the first acclaimed black female science fiction writers. You know, that means a lot to me as a writer and as somebody who loves science fiction, and I also dabble in writing science fiction. This book, Fledgling by Octavia Butler, this book had won the Hugo Award, I believe, and it won the Nebula Award. I believe this is the book that won those. And I can't even tell you how good. All the books I mentioned have no black people in them. Let's talk about it. There's no representation in those books. There's a couple of black people in Stranger in a Strange Land, but they're not main characters. They're not like, they're just, you know, people who are mentioned that have darker skin and stuff like that. And you're not even sure they're black. But this book has a black woman, and a lot is the front running character. It's about vampires. It's not really about vampires. They're vampires in a sense, The best way to call them is vampires. This book though, Octavia Butler has written a lot of fiction. She has a short story called Bloodchild. Look that up. That short story is amazing. The Parable of Talents books, all of those, amazing. This book is amazing. It was supposed to be like a trilogy or something, but she died. So reading it will make you upset, kind of, because you want to know what happens next. But it's a good standalone book, and I recommend it because this shit is dope. It has a lot to do with sexuality, race relations, racial conflicts, communities, family. So many themes, so rich, and just so great. I will read you the back of it since we are just on the back. I didn't read you the back of the Robert Heinlein book because there's literally, there's nothing on the back except how great it is. That's why I was just like, just fucking read it though. Now, okay, I'm gonna read the back to you really quick. My camera's dying. Shori is a mystery. Found alone in the woods, she appears to be a little black girl with a traumatic amnesia and near fatal wounds. But Shori is a 53-year-old vampire with ravenous hunger for blood and the lost child of ancient species of near immortals who live in the dark symbiosis with humanity. Genetically modified to be able to walk in the daylight, Shori now becomes the target of a vast plot to destroy her family, her kind, in the final apocalyptic battle. Her survival will depend on whether all humans are bigots or all bigots are human. Okay, so that's all my books. I recommend all of them. I'm gonna leave everything with links down below to where you can get them, probably all on Amazon. And I hope you like this video. Tell me, you guys, in the comment below what your favorite sci-fi book is and what you want to hear me talk about.